Good morning, and welcome back to Coaching Conversations. And thanks for joining us. I'm Maria Savio.
And I'm Lourdes Leeper. Stay tuned to the end for some practical practices you can start using right away.
Great. Let's talk about a situation we've all come across. That perfect vacation, that we see on social media, the unboxing of videos of expensive new tech, the friend who just got that dream job and now it seems to have it all. And in those moments, even just for a second, that little voice in your head, it just whispers, I want that. And suddenly, what you have just doesn't seem like it's enough.
Yeah, we've all been there. That feeling is universal. It's like you're scrolling along, feeling pretty good about your life, and then bam, one picture, one video, one person, and your entire reality shifts. You start to feel this ache for something you didn't even know you wanted 5 seconds ago.
Exactly. And that's the pain we want to talk about today. It's for anyone who's ever felt like their happiness is for sale, or that their self-worth is tied to the things that they can buy or the experiences that they can, that they can post about. This is for the overachiever, the consumer, the social media scroller who's tired of feeling like they're always playing catch up.
Yeah, and let's be real. I have certainly fallen into that trap. Equating my value, chasing after stuff to make myself feel better. But let me tell you, doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Well, because chasing something that you think you want only to get it and find you're still not satisfied, that's exhausting and it's demoralizing and it's depressing, right? And it's a treadmill. We're gonna talk about why that happens and how to get you off of that treadmill for good.
Yeah, so stick with us. We're going to give you the tools to break the spell of, some people call it vanity, or feeding the ego, feeding that empty ghost that we're trying to fill within ourselves. And what we need to do is find our value from the inside instead of trying to fill it from the outside.
Yes. And then, this is a lesson worth learning earlier, sooner rather than later, because it will save you a lot of pain and heartache, to come to the realization that it's an inside job. All right. So let's get into it. You see a beautiful, serene yoga retreat on a beach in Bali, and, you see this on your Instagram feed maybe, and immediately you think, oh, I need that. Or a friend buys a new luxury car and suddenly your perfectly good car feels inadequate. So why do we feel that pull so strongly?
Yeah, Lord, it's because we're living in this false narrative. We've been sold a story that these external things, the vacation, the car, the designer clothes, are what gives us peace, and that it gives us worth, that it gives us value, that without it, we're stripped of our core. And we don't see the car, we actually see the freedom we think it represents. We don't see the vacation, we see the bliss and escape we think it provides. But that's all a lie.
Yeah, so the object isn't the thing we want, it's the feeling we've been conditioned to associate with the object. It's an unconscious belief you have that luxury equals worth, that a product can validate you, that, it can fill the void you've been feeling within. You believe this illusion, and in doing so, you become a prisoner to it. And the reality is simple, but your mind has added a layer of vanity and ego that, quite frankly, just makes you suffer.
Right. And this is something that we all go through, right? We all think oh, I've got this. And then a couple of days later, you feel that emptiness again. So let's go deeper. We have to ask ourselves, what are we really trying to get? What is the underlying emotional need that we think this luxury car or this perfect vacation will actually fulfill? What's the emotion that we think it's going to satisfy? And that's the most important question, because a car isn't just a car, it's a symbol, it's a placeholder for something else. When we strip away the glamour of the object itself, whether it's a car, a new blouse, a new shirt, a new pair of shoes, what are we left with?
Mm. Yeah, we're left with a core human need, right? Maybe the desire for that new car isn't about the car at all. Maybe it's about a deeper need for security or a feeling of success that you think you failed to achieve. Or maybe that yoga retreat isn't about the sandy beach. It's about a deep need for rest, for connection to yourself, or for a sense of belonging that you feel is missing from your life. The envy that might be from, feeling that you're not where you're supposed to be in life.
Exactly. And this is the painful truth. We've been taught to look for our deepest human needs: love, security, worth, belonging, connection, in things that can never provide them. You can buy a car and, feeling, you can't buy the feeling that you want. You can't buy security. You can buy a plane ticket, but you can't buy true rest. And because the external things never truly satisfy those needs, we just keep craving more and more. That's why we wake up the next day and we feel something still missing. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a leak in it, you pour in more and more, you buy more and more, but it never gets full.
Yeah, it's like a fundamental misdiagnosis. We feel a hole in our soul and we try to fill it with things we can buy. But the hole isn't a physical one, it's an emotional one and a spiritual one. And the solution isn't external, it's always internal. So the goal is not to stop wanting things, it's to understand what the desire is really about. It's about becoming fluent in your own emotional language so you can stop mistaking a need for connection for a desire for a new phone.
Right. And this is where we deglamorize the illusion and address the real pain. And once we've done that, the solution actually becomes crystal clear. That's where our brain really gets into the act. We're not just making this up. It's a biological response. Your brain has a little reward system that runs on dopamine. When you see something, you want it, or you get it, or you get a little hit of dopamine. And that feeling is supposed to help you survive. But in our modern world, it's been hijacked by marketing and social media.
Yes, our brain is trained to crave a quick hit of dopamine, and a new car or a new phone is a reliable way to get it. Really, any purchase is. Our brain is a super fast learning machine. So every time we scroll past something glamorous and feel that twinge of desire, we're strengthening those neural pathways. And, this is neuroplasticity at work, right? For better or for worse. And over time, that neural pathway becomes a well worn highway.
Right. So, how do we stop our brains from overvaluing things that don't matter and get back to what's really important, to get back to what's really real? And this is where the gentle challenge comes in. This is where we de-glamorize the illusion.
Yeah. So here's an example. That gorgeous designer leather handbag, it's not a measure of your worthiness. It's just the dried flesh of an animal. That glass of expensive wine, it's just fermented grape juice. So that's the work. It's about stripping away the glamorous veneer from the things that control us.
Right. We're basically taking our power back. You think that that wine or fancy outfit is what you need to feel good, to make you feel, respected, or make you feel like other people will like you more, or that you'll fit in better. But strip it back. It's just juice. It's just fabric. When you stop overhauling it, or overvaluing it, you take your power back. You don't need external stuff to feel worthy. We are all worthy at the moment we're born, we are worthy. You create your own value by your character, by who you are, and the values that you have and how you are with other people. This is how we feel ourselves. So, here's a quick hack. It's a practical 4-second reset. And for a moment of impulsivity, before you buy something, before you eat something, before you even gossip, when you see something and you feel that pull, pause for 4 seconds and mentally strip away everything, all of the illusion, like we said about the grapes and the for the fancy wine. Strip it down to its essence.
Mm, absolutely. And, this is where the wisdom from centuries ago becomes a daily practice. It's not about being a killjoy, it's about being truly free. The moment you see something as it is, not what marketing or vanity says it is, you get to choose what to do next instead of being pulled by compulsion. So here's a four point practice you can use whenever you feel that pull of envy or desire. First, notice, what am I feeling right now? Name the emotion: envy, desire, comparison, and really, tap into where you feel that in your body. And then strip it down, mentally deconstruct the object or experience. What is it really?
Right. And three, find the root. What is the underlying need or feeling I think this thing will provide? Is it going to give me security? It's going to make me feel like I'm belonging. Is it going to make me feel joy? There's something that you're trying to compensate for most of the time when you're especially buying on impulse. So take a second and see what it is that your soul or that your being really wants. Do you want connection? What's the feeling that you're trying to satisfy? And 4, create your own. What is one small let me read this again. Create your own. What is one small tangible action I can take in this moment to create that feeling for myself without the external object? And this is the ultimate lesson. The lesson's not to reject your pleasure, but to really free yourself from illusions. When you strip away the glamour, you gain mastery over your own desires. You get in touch with your emotional state. So instead of being pulled by that false belief that, that you're going to be more, or that you'll be satisfied or fulfilled by an external object, you choose consciously. You consciously choose what matters.
Yeah. And, I think a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the hedonic treadmill, right?
Mhm.
Where it's, driving your driving forces are about acquiring. And I think I read it in a study where it's like, oh, even if you acquire, the wealth to buy a boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the marina, you'll see bigger boats, and you'll compare yourself to your neighboring, uh, boat owner, uh, and you'll be like, oh, I need a bigger boat, and then you'll get a bigger boat, and then you'll see another boat that's even bigger, and it's like you're always chasing the next thing to make yourself feel better, but it's it's you're ticking off an external thing when really it's an internal need that you're not paying attention to. You're trying to address it with stuff, and it's like Maria said earlier, that the hungry ghost, right? Where you're just never going to fill that need because you're trying to fill it with the wrong thing. What would you add to that, Maria?
Well, it's like, it's like eating rocks when you're hungry. It's like you're not going to get any nutritional value from eating rocks. And that's basically what we're doing. We think, oh, I'm putting something in, but you're not. You're not, because you're not satisfied. You're not happy. Real connection happens when, you look into someone's eyes and you feel seen. When you park your expensive car or you walk in with your glamorous outfit, people are looking at you, but they're not looking at you and saying, what a beautiful person she is, because they don't know what kind of person you are. They only know what kind of clothing you're wearing. And as humans, we're looking for connection. So if you really want to connect, yeah, you can dress, to the nines. That's fantastic. Beautiful. You've got a great car. Fantastic. I love going out on my friends' boats. I love it. They've got great boats and I enjoy it. But the purpose is not to mask with an object the emotion that you're feeling. If you need connection, reach out to a human being, to another person, right? If you feel sadness, allow yourself to cry. It's our emotional needs are not being met by objects. They will be met by our own centering and by other humans.
Yeah, and a good check-in, if you have the habit of shopping, for example, the next time you feel that urge, check in with yourself and inquire, get curious about, all right, well, what need am I really trying to fill with this, shopping spree, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the core need? And run through the practice to kind of get off of that treadmill and recalibrate to what is truly important.
Right.
Okay, so we'll leave you with some powerful inspiration. A reminder: the world doesn't control your peace. Your perspective does. The greatest leverage you have is not changing your circumstances, but changing your mind.
Okay, I like that quote. So the next time the world tries to sell you on a lie, take a deep breath, find that space, and choose your response wisely, as Lourdes said. You've got this. Let us know in the comments how you're taking back your power.
Yeah, and thanks so much for being here. We're walking this path right alongside you. Take care of your heart, take care of your mind, take care of yourself. And if you found this helpful, support our work by liking, following, sharing, and subscribing. We'll see you next time.